want to jump right into it. I want to kind of talk about, who I am and where I'm from and how we get to that moment in life where you are convinced in your mind that you are born to lead. You are born to lead. You're born to win, but you're also born to lead. I believe it's a God-given obligation to lead. And here's what I want you to understand. Not leading is leading. Leading someone nowhere is leading somebody nowhere. So you're always leading. The question is, what are you leading people to do? Now, before I get started, I want to put two things into your head right now. What is a leader? And what is the opposite of leadership? I believe, and I've always built like this, I've built billion-dollar organizations, companies that have expanded in over 100 countries, and entrepreneurs from every walk of life that you can imagine, doing business with people that I don't speak their language. I'll never speak their language, but I understand how to lead. When you understand leadership, language transcends. Language transcends barriers when you truly understand what leadership is. Now, here are the two words: leadership or dictatorship. There's no between. You are either leading with love, leading with passion, leading because you care about people, leading because you want to serve, or you're leading for your own benefit. And when you lead for your own benefit, regardless of what happens to other people, that crosses over into the land of dictatorship. Dictators kill. Dictators steal. Dictators destroy. Sound familiar? Kill, steal, destroy. The enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy. A dictator is an enemy of the people because they're only focused on themselves. And then you have leaders. When I think of leadership, I think about people like Nelson Mandela. I think about people like Mother Teresa. I think about people like Martin Luther King. I think about people who sacrificially give something that they are super passionate about, even to the point where they're willing to lay down their life for that cause. Now, my question to you is, what level of leadership as an entrepreneur do you want to step into? Do you want to be a dictator, someone who rules with manipulation and control? Or do you want to be a leader that leads with love and compassion? Because that duplicates. My favorite book says that a good man will leave an inheritance for his children's children. That's leadership. A dictator will leave a statue of themselves. There's a big difference. I sit before you right now. My earliest memory in life was living in a battered women's shelter. I was surrounded around gangs and violence and drugs my entire youth. I made a lot of bad decisions. I failed in elementary school and had to repeat what we call the second grade. And by the time I was 14, I was selling drugs on the streets in Texas. When I was 17, I had people selling drugs for me. At my homeboy's funeral, who was murdered by another friend, the mother of my friend who was murdered, she walks up to the casket and she stands right in front of the casket and she says, "I forgive the young man who killed my son." Now, here I am sitting in a church with a gun. Yeah, that's the Johnny they invited to speak to you. Like, that's who they invited to speak to you. Someone who is sitting in a church with the gun, planning to retaliate after the mother had found, or after we showed our respects. But when the mother said that, she said, "I forgive the young man who killed my son," I asked the preacher to meet me outside. Now I'm a junior in high school. I'm 18 years old. And I give him my gun. And I look at him and I'm done. I am built for something greater than this. There's something inside me that says there's more, and this isn't it. So I gave him my gun and I said, "I'm walking away from this lifestyle," and I made a commitment. Not only that I made a commitment, I had to participate in my own rescue. If there was something you want to write down right now as a leader, the very first step to tapping into true leadership, to tapping into true victory, is you have to participate in your own rescue. So whatever you need to be rescued from right now, you have to participate. I wanted to walk away from a lifestyle that was going to lead to my death or lead to me being in prison like my brother, who was serving 20 years, 30 years in prison altogether. So I'm sitting here before you to help you understand. I'm not better than my brother who went to prison. I'm just God's grace and mercy. I didn't get caught. So what could someone like me that has been through what I've been through, the ups and the downs, the good, the bad, and the ugly, living in a battered women's shelter. My father was an abusive alcoholic, was raised around drugs and violence and gangs my entire life. And I participated. I made a lot of bad decisions. I should be dead. I should be in prison. I agree with everything that society says about me. I should be, based on numbers. Based on the numbers of the studies that have been done on me, I should be in prison and I should be dead, like many of my homeboys. As a matter of fact, every one of my homeboys who were at that funeral sitting next to me would end up going to prison. 3 of them have gotten out in the last 10 years, and we're talking about 1993. We were babies, and many of my friends went to prison. So when I gave my gun to that preacher and I walked away from that lifestyle, it was my responsibility to lead myself into my destiny. Sometimes other people's opinion of you, it's none of your business. Society says I'm supposed to be an abusive alcoholic. I'm supposed to be a deadbeat father. I'm supposed to be an abusive husband. I'm supposed to be in prison. I'm supposed to be dead. I'm supposed to be all these things that studies say that I'm supposed to be. And they're right. Because men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. Based on the numbers, they are right. I just choose not to participate in what someone else says I'm supposed to be. Come on, Africa. How many of you are participating in what the world says you're supposed to be? You're supposed to be the tail and not the head. That is a lie from the pits of hell. You're supposed to be beneath and not above. Africa, that is a lie from the pits of hell. There is greatness within Africa. What you have to understand, it's going to take an organization like this to lead the people back into position, especially the young people, to awaken the giants that are sleeping inside of you, your ancestors that are sleeping inside of you, our ancestors that are sleeping inside of us, that are saying, listen, you were born for more than this. Greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. I don't care where you come from. I don't care what society says about you. I don't care what they say you can and what you cannot do. Someone else's opinion of Africa doesn't have to become Africa's reality. But only you can lead yourself to that mindset. Only you can lead yourself to that possibility. I wrote a book called From the Hood to Doing Good. This is my very first book I ever wrote in my 20s. And this book talks about someone who walked away from a lifestyle that should have killed him into a world where I would be a multimillionaire, helping other entrepreneurs become multimillionaires. And in 2000, my newest book is called Building a Millionaire Mindset. The #1 publisher in the world at the time, McGraw-Hill, called me to do a book on me. Why would you want to do a book with an ex-drug dealer? Why would you want to do a book with somebody who should be dead or in prison? Because here's what I found out, Africa. I have found out that people want to hear from real people who've really been through some things, that really have been counted out, that really played at the bottom of life to change their life around and make it to the other side, make it to the higher side. And I am telling you, Africa, the whole world is impressed when we see success stories come out of Africa. The whole world says, oh, here comes another one. We celebrate that. My question is, do you celebrate you? Will you participate in your own rescue? I want to be rescued where my children can go to private school. I want to be rescued where I can build my own business and stop building, somebody else's dream and somebody else's vision. I want to be rescued to success. I want to be rescued as an entrepreneur to bring my dream into this world. Well, the question is, Daniel, will you participate in that? Will you participate in that, Dan? We all say what we want. We all have a passion to get to the other side, to get more out of life. The question is, as a leader, will you lead yourself to participate in your own rescue, in your own declaration? See, I know you were born to lead. You may say, Johnny, well, how do you know I was born to lead? Johnny, you don't know what I've been through. You don't know what I come from. You don't know what my parents went through. You don't understand what my government does to us. And yea, though you walk through the valley of the shadows of death, I am reminding you right now, you are to fear no evil. Your Creator's rod and staff, they comfort you. They are beside you right now. They are there with you right now, and you have access to the tools to stand straight up and walk through the fire. The worst thing you could do when you find yourself in hell is stop. Les Brown says you jump and you grow your wings on the way down. That's my mentor. Miles Monroe says, when you know the road, when you know where you're going, then you also know the roads not to take. So let me talk to the leaders right now. Iron sharpens iron. You don't have to like me. I'm going to tell you the truth. When you know where you're going, you also have to confess you know the roads not to take. If you say, I want to quit smoking, then you know the road to quitting smoking is not having access to cigarettes. So if you have cigarettes hidden in your house, you're not participating in your own rescue because you're leading yourself into failure. Success requires sacrifice, and leadership requires sacrifice and decisions. You want to lose weight, there are things that have to be sacrificed. See, a leader will participate in their own rescue. Well, Johnny, how do you know I was born to lead? Because I also know you were born to win. And leaders are winners. Winners are leaders. Well, Johnny, prove to me that I was born to win. Prove to me that I was born to lead. Listen to me. This is how Johnny has to talk to Johnny. Johnny, your greatest memory in life was living in a battered women's shelter. That's the first thing you remember about you. You're an ex-drug dealer. You failed in school. You have a felony arrest. You should be in prison like all of your friends, your brother. You should be dead. But then I have to talk to myself and make that voice louder and say, Johnny, you were born to win. You were born to lead. See, you got to speak those things that be not as though they were. You got to speak life into yourself and speak life into your own situation. Johnny, you were born to win because you won your first race in life. What does that mean? You won your first race in life. Well, science proves that over 100 million sperm cells start a race in a matter of seconds. And there's 100 million other of you that want you to lose. So your first race in life, every opponent you had, if one of them would have won, you would have died. So I won my first race in life. I beat over 100 million other me that wanted me to die, and I won that race. So you can't tell me I wasn't born to win. If you won your first race in life, let that be the evidence that you were born to win, and winners are leaders. Can you lead you? Will you lead you? If you won your first race in life, let me tell you something, you will never see those odds again. The world will never put that much weight on you again. That is the hardest race of your life, and you won it before you even knew your name, before you even knew what color you were, before you knew what country you lived in, before you knew who your parents were, before you knew the circumstances of your government. You born to win. And if you won your first race in life, I'm talking to leaders. Well, Johnny, how do I step back into my greatness? You stay plugged into this organization. You stay plugged into an organization that has a passion and desire to build the leader in you from the inside out. You have people who are here right now in this organization that want you to win at the absolute highest level. One of my favorite quotes that I say, and this is my quote. If you quote it, please give me credit, because this is my baby. You got to surround yourself around the thinking that outthinks you. This entrepreneurial youth empowerment program But when I say entrepreneurs and youth, I'm talking about young mindsets. You could be 50 years old and be an entrepreneur with a young mindset. It takes a young mindset to break into new levels, to break into higher levels of success. This organization, surround yourself around the thinking that outthinks you. When you want to miss one of these calls, force yourself, lead yourself back to this call. Lead yourself back to the YouTube channel. Listen and listen and listen. Faith comes by hearing and hearing and hearing and hearing. Repetition is the mother of all skill. If you want to break out to the highest level of leadership possible, I dare you to go back and surround yourself around the information that's available in this organization and learn it as if you are the founder. Because every leader wants to replace themselves. The president, every leader wants to rise up. Every leader wants to succeed. Every leader wants to elevate. Every leader wants to elevate another leader, because success is in duplication. So it's an honor and a pleasure to be with you today, and I hope that I said something that awakens the giant that's within you. There's one thing I want to leave you with. Don't you ever allow somebody else's opinion to become your reality. Who you are, where you're from. You're from the greatest land on earth. You are in the chosen land on earth. The most valuable property on earth. And anything that is birthed out of greatness is also great. Step into your greatness. Don't allow the world's opinion to affect your reality. Step into your greatness, the greatness of being an entrepreneur. Lead yourself, participate in your own rescue. You were born to lead, and you were born to win. And winners are leaders.